Graduated from Mumford, right? So I drank.
Hello, everybody.
Happy
Happy
Sunday.
Sunday. Happy
Happy
Sunday.
Sunday.
Hey,
How?
girl. How are you?
I know you're not talking to me when you say girl. Hey, Miss
Well,
Shivonne, how are
I'm
you,
talking
man?
to Shivonne.
Hey,
Welcome back. Welcome back to the All the Way There podcast. How about that? I'm so excited to have you back. But today we are on some new stuff, right?
that's
Mm-hmm.
right.
Because we are going to be talking about having the courage to be disliked, which a lot of people are so quick to say that they don't care about what people think about them, and for the most part they probably don't, but so many people struggle with this
Mm-hmm.
regardless to whether they want to admit it or care to admit it. A lot of people do struggle with it. So we are going to talk about have the courage to be disliked with Shivonne, and I know she is concentrating, y'all. She been concentrating since right before this thing. So she is not ignoring us, but she trying to get all her stuff on her platforms like she been doing. That were you able to do it?
I don't think so, but I just realized my nails match my glasses.
Yes,
Okay,
they
I
do.
digress. I didn't mean to
So
do that, but that was
so Shivonne, if you go to the All the Way There podcast page, now you should see
okay.
the actual video that is playing, and just hit the share button there to whatever page. You can hit the share button on there. You should see it. So listen, Aaron,
Yes.
bring the DJ in.
I got one question. Got
What's
one question. Before I ask
okay?
the question,
That's
I
the
got to
question.
do this. Got to do this. Where are we going today?
We're going all the way there. Shivonne, where we going?
We're going all the way there.
Where are we going today? All the way there. Let's go. Where are we going today? 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 All the way there.
Listen, this is a topic. Oh, you were still grooving in the background. Hey, but listen, this is a topic that I was thinking about last week about just having the courage to be disliked. And I know a lot of people they try to pretend like it's just so easy, but sometimes you just really have to be okay with people not liking the decisions you make, not liking the changes you are making in life. And sometimes you actually think about some of the things that people say and might even second guess yourself. But today we are going to show you how to not do that. But I would like to say we are just having an open discussion, so feel free. None of us are experts. None of us have went to school for this topic. The only school we went to was the School of Hard Knocks
Mm-hmm.
and life experience. So
Mm-hmm.
do not take a prescription on anything we're saying
Mm.
unless you feel that it fits.
Mm.
But with that being said, Miss Shivonne, you are here back with us today. Before we jump into the icebreaker really quick, because I want to dive into that, let's let's tell the people just a small little bit about you, because you were here before and you don't just only talk about having the courage to be disliked, but tell us about this, Shivonne. What about this?
So, this is me. I'm a real estate broker, district director for Collin County Central here in the DFW market, which is Texas, as well as a mentor, trainer, and just a great spirit when it comes to making the most important decision of your life, which is purchasing real estate or purchasing an investment property to add to your portfolio.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
can find our information. We'll make sure we add it to the page. And also, I noticed that you are adding to your company.
Okay, so this company is Fathom Realty, which is what my brokerage, Aim High Realty Group, lies up under, and it's also the brokerage that I am a district director for, where I
Okay.
supervise about 325 agents or 300, and make sure they have the support and tools they need to write the proper contracts and have the proper support to run their business. So I'm helping them to develop their business as well.
Okay, girl, go ahead with your bad self.
I love it.
So
I love
listen,
it.
of
I'm so
course,
excited to be here again. And we got Aaron. This is good stuff. I
I'm
hope he's taking
excited.
notes. Yeah.
I'm excited that you're here. But I mean, I have to do a little bit of me because I was featured on her page.
Yes.
That's
So
your
if you
Wow.
girl.
follow Fridays, as you guys know, every Friday, look for my page. You'll find wonderful people to follow, great information. As a realtor, just like a hairstylist, we have a connection to everybody and a little bit of everything. So you should
Yes.
have a realtor you can call upon and say, hey, I need this. I'm gonna say, okay, call Keela for this, or call, and for you guys that need a realtor, say, hey, call Shivonne. It doesn't matter the state. I work, my team is all over the 50 states. So it doesn't even matter. We just closed 3 more in Detroit. I have them all over Houston, Atlanta, Florida. Like, we got you.
And that's what I like. I like that you connect people with other people because that's really how businesses grow.
They
And
should.
sometimes people think they can just do it all on your own and be a one man team and don't want to share the wealth or the growth or the knowledge or any of that. And I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna eventually hit a ceiling.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit a ceiling.
You're gonna hit a ceiling. So listen, we got a good icebreaker today. I don't know if you guys did the homework, but I love rap. So
Mm.
I had these two. These two were behind the scenes. I had to read the lyrics to them, y'all.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I needed the dramatics to sing those lyrics.
Okay, so the homework and the icebreaker is talking about the Lecrae song. He is a gospel rap artist, and the song is called Outsiders. So I'm not gonna read all the lyrics, but the
But can we
homework.
get a vote of who knows the song, maybe? Because it was new to
Um,
me. You said it was old, but it was new to me.
yeah, and that's
Yes, sir.
okay, but you've heard of Lecrae, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
heard of
that.
Lecrae. I love
Mm.
Lecrae, but somehow that song escaped me. But when you sent it, the words were, yeah, it was needed.
It was
Yeah.
definitely
It was,
needed.
but I'm sure that came from an experience or experiences
Exactly.
Yeah.
he's had.
Exactly. So listen, which to me lets me know that we are all not out here just doing this alone. Like somebody has
Yeah.
always been through what you've been through.
Exactly. And
So
once the song was slowed down, like if you put it down to 33 in the third, where I can
You
actually hear
said,
the words, then yeah, I got
look,
the
I'm
song.
trying to pull it up again because if you guys are out there, pull it up. I use YouTube Music only because it gives me lyrics, and sometimes
right.
I'm a little older, so I can't
And some
understand you young people. So
and
I had
then
to get the word, make sure I'm not child
It sounded like
listening right.
okay, but now that you guys heard the words when I had to read them like I was reading a
to
bedtime
kindergarten.
story, it's okay. I want to know what resonated with you in that song. And before you guys move forward, the homework, a person did the homework, Mrs. Crystal, and she answered this is her answer. I've been teased playfully and non-playfully about how I do things and live most of my life, but it never bothered me. I always known what I can do and what I can't do at appropriate times. Yesterday, I had a checkup. I still don't have to take blood pressure medication. Could lose a few pounds. I said that, but not diabetic. No swollen ankles and passed the memory test, checking for early dementia. I'll be 71 in September. I am truly blessed. I'm
Yeah,
definitely an outsider and continuing to work on my peace.
yeah,
Crystal,
Crystal.
yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations, first of all, for passing all your tests. Congratulations for having a blessed 71 years. And congratulations for accepting being an outsider, an anomaly, however we want to look at this, because that's the only way you're going to walk in your
Your
purpose,
truth.
right?
Hmm.
Your
Your
Right.
truth.
truth. It is. Okay, so Shivonne, since you are our guest, what did you get from the homework assignment?
Okay, y'all ready?
I'm ready.
I won't stay here another night. If I gotta sacrifice who I am on the inside, I'd rather be an outsider. And you can stay if you like. I'll see you on the other side. I want to live the free life. I'd rather be an outsider.
Hmm.
Yes.
And if I have to lose my peace, whether it's family, friends, job, I'd rather go to where I can find a peace.
Hmm.
And if that takes me being an outsider, guess what? I have learned to love me enough to be like, it's okay.
It's okay. I
It's
like
okay.
that. I
Hmm.
like that. What about you, Aaron?
Well, what I got from it is I think why people don't uh, choose to be disliked is because it's lonely.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lonely feeling. Everybody's against you, and that they don't want that. And some people are dependent, so they need to attach themselves to somebody. But if you speak up or do anything that requires you to stand alone, that's where the fear comes in. But that freedom on the other side of that fence
Yes,
is so much better than the fear
Oh
on
my,
that side of the fence.
it is. It
That's what
really
I got
is.
out of it.
So for me, the part that I love the most is um standing outside of your inside, because basically I'm on the outside of what I feel like you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tried my best to fit in, looking for a suit to fit in, trying to find ways I can get in, standing outside of your prison. And the reason why I
standing
say
outside of your prison. That one too. Whoo!
standing outside of your prison,
Mm-hmm.
because when you are trying to get into somebody else's space, you are really trying to fit yourself sometime in spaces where you do not belong. And
Mm-hmm.
even though you are free as far as being on the outside, like in America, you're not in a jail, you are still in bondage in your mind, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And so then it says I realized that I'm free, and I found out that I'm not alone because there are other people like me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's other people that's trying to be who they want to be, walking their calling, walking their freedom, walking their truth, walking who God called you to be, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all of those things. So that stood out to me because I know I've made some mistakes and choices
We all have.
that you look
Yeah.
back and you like, I made this based on what I thought they would think.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm going to tell you something. In your 20s, you like, oh, okay, who am I? In your 30s, you trying to figure some stuff out. You're almost breaking free, but you're still thinking about what other people saying. When you get to your 40s, I mean, I would put the middle finger up, but my mom is watching. And then
Hey, hi
I know
mom.
I'm almost I'm almost 50, and I can just feel that probably being just a little bit more liberating. So I'm gonna say I totally get why old people say some of the stuff they say. They just don't give a
They
they
don't
just
give her Beaver's house. No,
they
you're right.
just
A
don't.
beaver's house. I like that.
Yeah.
They just don't. And Aaliyah say we should not be sacrificing our peace for nobody. And that's on period.
Mm-hmm.
And
That is the truth, but sometimes we do it unknowingly.
yes,
But
we
and then when
do.
you wake up, that's where the pain and the hurt come in because it's like I was really trying to be intentional
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
about being their friend or their whatever you are to them, their sister, their aunt. You were really trying to be intentional. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to hurt them or I didn't want them to do me that way.
Right.
Nakisha said, period. I
Yeah.
have some really good friends on here. Thank you guys for even
Yes.
tuning
In
in.
your
This is a really
50s.
good show. You guys are gonna love Keela and Aaron. Good information.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And Aaliyah says, in your 50s, stop worrying about what people think. You know, a lot of times I think that it boils down to basically sometimes what people think about themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert on this, so don't take this for like it's a therapist's word or whatever. But sometimes when you feel a certain way about yourself, it's really coming from what's going on the
That's true.
inside. It
Yeah.
needs, you want people to accept you. And so even though you shouldn't be feeling that way at 50, you like, girl, you too grown. You too grown to be acting like that. But when you have not peeled back some of them layers of that onion of what's happening on the inside of you, it really shows on the outside a lot.
Yeah.
You know. So I was in church today and the pastor said this scripture. And
You
so
went to church?
I went to church. I had to say this scripture, y'all. Where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom.
Yes.
And that stood out to me. There is liberty is actually the translation version. There
Yes.
is liberty, which
There
is
is
freedom.
It is freedom.
And there's Second Corinthians
Supposed to be.
3:17. But I'm gonna tell y'all why that stood out to me. Because when you are trying to find your place, and you looking at all these people that are dropping off, you know, you steadily trying to walk into your calling. And I'm not gonna pretend like you don't see none of this stuff. It's hard to pretend like you don't see any of it. But to me, that reminded me that as long as I am present, you are free. I don't need to be thinking about what nobody else is thinking about.
Right.
And to me, I literally turned around to Aaron and I was like, oh, we need to say that for the podcast. I'm like, because that was a good scripture. So listen, God, okay, let's see what Sabrina said. God took me through a lesson and he delivered me from people. Best life yet is to be delivered from people. And that happened in my early 40s. Yeah. Sabrina, it happened for me in my early 40s too. It's something about those 40s that is just, it's kind of like, wow. I mean, I made it this far. I really don't care what you say. I'm just going to live my best life. And like I said, it make me think that when people are like in their 70s and 80s and you be like, God, that lady just say anything. She just don't care. She don't care. She got on a striped shirt with star pants. She don't care if her hair look like she stuck her finger in the electric socket. She like, listen, I don't care what you think about me because you can't do nothing for me.
Can't do nothing about it.
Do you remember that real quick that I saw a clip of Maya Angelou on a talk show? And
I did. I saw that too. Go ahead.
Hey, Maya. And she was like, wait a minute, young lady. You don't call me Maya. She's like, man, I'm old enough to be your mama and possibly your grandmother. I mean, the fact is that she could have just, the lady didn't mean any harm, I guess.
Right.
He just lambasted her because I'm 70 and you need to acknowledge me as a woman phenomenal, I guess. But
right.
Phenomenally.
Yeah. So it's just like she said whatever she felt. In that vein, I found a quote that really is the theme of the show. Can we show that quote?
Yes.
It's by
we can, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Yes.
It's by somebody I don't know, but it's true. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. That's deep.
That is deep. Why do you think people do that?
It can be self-esteem issues. It could be the way they were brought up. It could be any number of things that makes you attach yourself to someone else. And you play it safe like that because, like I said, you don't want to stand alone, which is where the freedom is. Yeah.
So going back to what Aaron was saying earlier, Shivonne, sometimes when those people do start dropping off, it does get lonely. And people say like it gets lonely at the top. Even just trying to make life changes and just not even doing some of the same things other people are doing. It's like I don't think I'm better than you. I'm just moving in a different direction. And somebody who is not understanding your journey is thinking that you think you're better than me. And it's not that. We just not going in the same direction.
Exactly.
You know.
Right.
What did Doris say?
Miss Graham says some people weren't taught that, Aaron. She's talking about the lady with Maya Angelou. They don't have the same respect for their elders.
No,
and she's right. So let me tell you, you guys know I sell real estate, and I right now we're going into where millennials are starting to buy. I'm not a millennial. I don't know, what are we, Keela? What they call us?
They call us Gen X.
Okay,
Oh,
Gen X. So when we
Gen
grew
Z.
up, DOS had just came out. We literally had to do semicolon, backspace, backspace,
Right.
backspace, and
Right.
tell the computer what to do. And
Come-
then Microsoft came out. But I had a client, and he says, young man, military, everything, but the era. He says he would text back and forth, and then he says he changed my name. So my name is Shivonne. He was calling me Shiv or something. And first I thought it was a text error. And I'm like, okay, well, you know. And I said, well, who are you talking to in one conversation? And he says, I just shortened your name. I said, you can call me Mrs. Carolina, or you can call me Shivonne. I said, thank you. That's all I need. And he was like, I thought you would like that. But I had to tell him as a young man, that was unprofessional.
It is. It really is.
And I didn't ask to be called anything but
What my
Shivonne.
mother named me.
But that goes to speak to what Maya Angelou says. And then we're in a different season of life. But I granted, some people look at me and they'll be like, oh, she's 30 or she's this. And I'm not. I'm almost, anyway, I'm not. And I'm like, I have grandchildren. Let me tell you that. So to me, it was like, I asked my husband first before I corrected him, because you do have to still, I got to kind of be delicate. But it was a disrespect. I'm like, who are you talking?
Yeah, and some people do
Call
that.
me Shay, but he said something whole different. And
He
you
said-
gotta have a right to call me that. I didn't ask.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Sometimes people
Say it, Keila. Just say it. Right.
they feel like they can give you these separate names. And I'm gonna tell you something. Call me what my mother called me, because it's on the level of disrespect. And I know that this is kind of a little off the topic, but it's on topic of what you're saying. If you don't know me, don't give me a nickname. Like, don't call me Kiki when you first meet me.
That would be disrespectful to me. I would never
is.
do that to you, but I'm a different age.
I want to go back.
We didn't even call you your name. It would have been Mr. Aaron.
No, seriously.
I still do that.
That's how I taught my
too.
daughter. And people say that they find it strange when my 20-year-old do that. But I'm like, no, if you're going to call them by their first name, hang a miss or hang a mister.
Exactly.
Unless the relationship has become, a
But
little deeper. But they
permission.
have to give you that. You know what I mean? Like, don't just go, hey, Monique. It's Miss Monique. Yeah, don't do that.
It's Miss Monique.
You gotta say Miss Monique. And my daughter is very well with saying Mr. Hey, Mr. this, hey, Mrs. that. And people be like, oh, she's so respectful. Yeah, why aren't your child? Why isn't your child respectful?
Right.
But I want to go to Antoinette's comment, because this was good. Aaron, read that for us.
Just like a plant needs pruning to grow, the same goes for friendships and relationships. Sometimes you have to cut friends off in order to help you grow. Love yourself and protect your peace. Boom. Man, I'm Edward Scissorhands when it comes to cutting off people. For real. I mean, all you got to do is show me who you are, and I do the Maya Angelou, believe you the first time, and you're gone.
Okay, Aaron. Do you okay, as friends though, if I consider you a friend, because everybody is not a friend, wouldn't you, and Antoinette, you can chime in too, wouldn't you would you say, Shivonne, we're not gonna be friends anymore? Or how do you do your cutting? Is it just
all right? So first I put you in my little purgatory, right? So
what is that?
I'm
Purgatory is the place right before hell.
Well, wait, it's an imaginary place to begin with, but some people believe that this is where you go while God is deciding where you go. So here's a story, because we're gonna talk about what made us free. So I had a friend I have friends who have real important roles in this earth, right? And so he wanted to meet them, and so he befriended me, and I'm thinking, we boys, what up, man? What up, man? What up, man? And so when he got to be friends with them, there was like, deuces, dude. Thanks for that step up. And I was oblivious to it. I'm like, well, maybe I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, dude. Don't even worry about it. And I didn't punish him, but he went into purgatory. He did go into purgatory.
So, Shivonne, so people who don't know, purgatory is this place between earth, real life earth, and hell. So it's a waiting spot.
That's what I said.
I
Holding.
know, but I just want to let them know because
Yeah.
Shivonne was looking. So that's where he placed them.
Right. So then the next thing he did was try to set me up like I was stealing to show that he pointed it out so
So
he can
he
get even more recognition from
secure.
them
Mm-hmm.
and make me look bad. So
So he
then
wasn't really a friend. He was a friend disguised. He was faux disguised as friend.
yes.
Okay,
So
well let's ask this, Aaron,
I
with the
took out
same
the gun.
situation.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I don't feel like, right. It's children watching. Aaron, but okay, so in that case, and I'm just asking this for clarity, when you figured that out, why didn't you did you talk to him about it? Did you approach him
Oh, talk is an understatement.
or some type of communication?
Definitely so. I talked to him. I was like, that, you making me look bad trying to make you look good. And everybody knows what you're doing. And everybody did know what he was doing. And
Wow.
so it's like, dude, why would you do that to me? I was nothing but a friend of you. So I went off and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And so he felt, and of course, they always feel bad. They want to either come back and repair the relationship, so they can keep doing it, or they're really sorry. But I didn't give him a chance to do anything because I plucked him. I took purgatory and just shook it down to hell at that point. And so he
I
had
don't like
no
that.
chance of ever regaining any friendship back with me. He was trying to
But
friend me
Aaron,
on
at least
Facebook.
he knew. What about the people who
Who
do
don't
it
know?
and don't give a reason? Because we kind of talked about that. Don't give a reason. You like, hello, I haven't heard from you, which you really thought they were a friend. So I'm thinking it's
But I'm gonna tell you, okay, so opportunists, which is what that guy sounded like.
Right.
Opportunists are only gonna be your friend until the next best opportunity come along.
Exactly right.
So they aren't genuinely your friend.
Right.
But like Shivonne says, those people who sometimes just really just kind of they walk away, and here you are on this end thinking like, dang, I thought we were good. What's happening? There's no explanation. I'm actually in a situation like that as we speak. So I feel like I should offer an explanation, but at some parts of me feel like on the inside, well, you should know what happened. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't you know the last time I actually talked to you? Shouldn't you remember? And maybe they don't know. So what do you guys think out there? What do you think, Shivonne?
I think if I end a relationship with a friend, I'm going to talk about it because if they're a friend to me, that's a different type of relationship. And let's talk about this too, because although you don't talk to them as much or at all, they may have things going on in their lives. And if you're a friend, because I got friends, we're all over the state now. Like he's in Michigan, I'm in Texas, but we still talk. But it should be when we talk, it's like we never missed
disconnected.
Right. Yeah, never disconnected. But I am or have found some people because but I'm learning, and we talked about this therapy. We don't talk about therapy. We talk about our hair hurt, we have lupus, we got high blood pressure. The lady said about it, but nobody is talking about going to get your mind checked, because a lot of the things we do as adults come from childhood experiences.
Yeah, that's true.
It does.
Whether it's you keep looking for the bad person by mistake, I won't say by mistake, it's your traits, because for me, I look for things I can fix for people. Or I don't want to say thing, not intentionally, but if you say, Keela, my car broke down, I'll be like, oh, I know so-and-so over here, I'm going to connect you. So what I have learned is that everybody can't experience me. I have to be very selective, because those people who do want the next level or want the next, they want a photo op just so they can say,
I know this person, and I know several people like that. But I say this to some of the people who walk away with no explanation, because I actually don't like ghosting, because to me, ghosting is for cowards. And if anybody ever saw an episode
I think so too.
that I've
watched,
watched,
tell the people why you
I did a whole episode on ghosting is for cowards. So for me, even if I never talk to you again, I do think that you should know. You should know why. But I'm gonna tell you why sometimes I think silence is best. And it's not necessarily the ghost, because right now I'm not in this really good mind frame set to explain these things and the million one questions that you have behind it. So it's better for me to just fall back, because for one, I know my mouth. Two,
My husband say Detroit women is spicy.
girl.
Oh, it's spicy.
Two, I don't. It might not land the way I set the
That's true.
plane off. And then it's almost like I need to think, oh, Ayanta is on here. We should have had her on this episode. Girl,
Mm.
we could have had all the
Can you
Mumford
pull her
Mustangs
on?
on here. She is the therapist, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And Lakeisha said a good thing. She was talking about, because if I trust you and I consider you a friend, my feelings hurt if your feelings is hurt. It should be.
Okay, let's see. Read it, Aaron.
Okay, chapter 1. If you if you develop a friendship, you have established a level of honest communication, hopefully. Whether or not they should know or feel something doesn't mean you still shouldn't be able to clearly communicate why you're choosing to end a relationship. Everyone's experiences are through their own filter and perspective. So even with our most trust friends,
Ooh,
communication is the key.
Communicate.
that is
I,
so
I think
true.
as a friend, you at least deserve that part to say, I'm no longer interested in the friendship, or, I know I haven't talked to you in a while. Things are changing in my life so fast. I may be busy. I know when I went to college, because I went later, a lot of things I had to miss. I lost some friends because I didn't attend the
Yes.
party, but they didn't
Yep.
know I was getting a whole degree. Like
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
have time.
I lost some friends because I wasn't
Yeah.
attending certain things too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But
And-
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. What are you gonna say?
Well, the guy who I was just describing, he he got the point, because I didn't ghost him. I told him what the deal was, and I told him in strong enough terms where it's like, dude, don't even try it. But he kept trying to come back,
Right.
kept trying to repair the relationship, and I wasn't willing to do it. So
I get it. And to what my mom just said, some people are unhealthy for you to have a friendship with. You have to decide how to make the separation or break. Cutting all at once is not always bad. I'm gonna tell you why for me it's hard for me. Unless you threaten my child or threaten my life in some type of way where I felt like I had to fear for my life, then that's a little bit different. I'm definitely just gonna cut it off. But I have a struggle with dealing with, and this is probably me overthinking, that I cut the friendship off and I don't talk to them, and then something happens to them tomorrow, and then I'm feeling bad about it. Like, I didn't have to treat them like that. And I know, look, both of y'all faces are like, and but I do
No,
deal
I'm with
that.
you.
I do deal with that.
I don't
And
deal with that at all.
unless this is a good segue into what we talked about before. We
Mhm.
have to, because Antoinette says, that's me. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. I'm not one to
Exactly.
explain myself. But Antoinette and Keith, sometimes, if and do you know your friend? Like, I think sometimes, depending on the type of relationship, you do owe that person an explanation.
Mhm, mhm.
Especially if you know ain't nothing done, you dealing with something internally.
Right,
They're excelling.
right.
We talked about getting on the elevator. I keep using that because I'm gonna use that with my children,
Yes.
my adult children. Everybody get on at kindergarten. Then the
Right.
elevator's going up. Some people failed the grade. Some people didn't get off on the same floor. But now you're going up. You still this person's friend because you love them, you care about them. But they're having feeling some kind of way because your elevator keeps rising.
Yes.
Then they want to cut you off, and you're like, "But that's my girl. I know she's not as smart as all of the crayons in the crayon box, but that's still my girl. But she wants to cut you off, or he wants to cut you off because he's not going to get to that level.
He's not.
So we have to be what we decided. Y'all can chime in. You got to be okay with not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it's not reciprocated, the phone calls, the text, let it go.
I have learned that you have to be okay,
Be okay with not knowing.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to open the elevator door up and push people out. But that's
You know,
He
you
over here
always
shooting
wanna
them, y'all. Look, he's shooting them up. He
pushing people out.
pushing people out.
Listen, what do you also feel about people who they should be okay with not knowing, You've done what you
Okay.
feel. You've given them an explanation, and then they still want to continue to
I agree with
drag
Keisha.
drag on the out onto the relationships.
Hmm.
Keisha
Well,
said I agree with her.
yeah, silence or ghosting is for acquaintances, frenemies, and strangers.
Agreed.
If any person earned the friend title in your life, the
That
silence
and that's
method
what I'm
may hurt
talking about.
worse
That
than the truth.
is real.
And
I
that's what
agree
I
with
was saying. If
that.
I consider you friend, we done spent the night. We done, and I'm like,
Girl, our
the
kids call
least you
each
can say
other.
is, I don't like you anymore or something. I could be like, okay, I can handle that. But I'm like,
Right.
I thought I didn't see none of that coming, and nothing
Right.
has happened. Yeah.
And then you just like gone, and they're like, well, dang, what I do? And you like, okay, listen, I'm in a time in my life right now. I'm making some changes. It is what
Because
it
that can
is.
happen.
It does happen, but they like,
Or they can go
well,
into a sunken place. But as a friend, you like, if I know they're in a sunken place, I'm coming for you because that's friend.
right,
Mhm.
exactly,
But I'm not
exactly,
ghosting you because you friend.
exactly. But let's also talk about some of the reasons why these friends act like this. So jealousy,
Are we going there?
we going there.
When I said the elevator's going up and theirs is not, you're married,
Jealous,
they're not. It's not your fault per se.
Mhm. Opportunism.
that
Opportunity.
you
Mhm.
get in a new relationship, people mad. You buy a new car, people mad. You get a new house, people mad. And you know the reality of it is, for me, I
Her
feel
head
like
on her.
this. I understand that there may be a little something in everybody but for me, I want to see everybody shine.
Mhm.
So I'm never hating that you are um up upgrading your life. I've
Mhm.
never been that type of a person, and it still is a strange place for me to even see some people being, because I always want to see that you're doing well.
Yeah.
I'm never mad that,
Right.
you know, the person that say always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Well, that's probably why you're never a bride, because
Mhm.
you've been saying I'm always a bridesmaid for years.
But
Speak those things into existence.
right. But unfortunately, you can't base what people do on how you are.
No, you cannot, but it can still hurt because of the way that
The
they
human, you're
treat
still
you.
human.
Yeah.
Because of the way that they treat you, sometimes it still hurts. So I don't base what you do on me, but sometimes it just still hurt, because here at one point I thought we were better than that.
Better than that.
And I'm at all your kids stuff, and I'm coming to everything, and I'm blowing the popsicle stands, I'm putting gifts in there like they getting married. But when it's on the flip side of the card, where you at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fair weathers. Fair weathers.
Where you
So
at?
Aaliyah asks a very interesting question. What if your spouse asks you to eliminate certain friends? Then what? And
Okay,
now
I saw
remember,
that.
the scripture says, forsaking all others.
Okay. I'm
What?
married.
So,
You want me to say something?
well,
You,
I,
yeah, you speak it because so me and Aaron gonna speak it from being married, but I'm single now. But you can speak it from a married, actual person that's still married.
mhm.
I think we can even look at the Kiki Palmer situation. They're not married, but people got onto this guy. Now I don't know if he should have put it on social media because that's the way of the world today. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
he he knew her differently, and he did
Mhm.
that for a reason. I do believe, but I think if my husband says something to me or pulls my coattail on something, there is a reason. Now that's my husband. And I
Mhm.
say that to say, and I'm saying it that way because Aaliyah, I don't know if you're married or not, but I don't know your husband. So knowing your spouse is one thing because
Yes.
because I had an ex-husband and he's an ex for a
Mhm.
reason. But I'm saying that because the clap wasn't loud, the it
That's
wasn't,
that's
but
important.
that was his self-reflection. It wasn't
Yes.
me, but I had to go to therapy to learn it because I'm like, why we this the home team. I'm bringing it home. Why you mad?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Yeah.
what? So oh, she said not yet.
Not
But
yet.
that is you would have to go to counseling, honestly, because nobody knows what I don't know what Keela did with her spouse and who he was or who
Mm-hmm.
she was at that time.
Mhm.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, for me, even then and now, I respect the decision, but for me, I need a little explanation. So why
Yes.
is this person not a person that you deem should be my
Should
friend?
be a,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna let anybody come in between me and my person,
Mhm.
right.
because at the end of the day, you go home, I go home, and it's, believe it or not, a lot of people out here just are just trying to create
Unhappy, so
wedges.
they
Yeah,
destroying.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they just trying to create wedges somewhere so they can sit up and eat their popcorn and be okay with their life,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
sitting up. So
You ever
you have
notice
to,
the most important thing is the people who don't put anything on social media?
right,
Mhm.
You
exactly.
don't hear
Mhm.
Beyonce. We saw Lemonade. We knew what happened, but that was
Right.
that's all you got was the
That
lemonade that
and
you bought. You
and
bought her
people
lemonade.
and people still speculated, but she never came around and said this is what happened.
I
She
respected
just
that so
she
much.
went hard on the album, and people just created their own theories, right? But the
Mhm.
reality of it is everybody go through stuff, and she just said, I choose not to talk about it, because
Mhm.
it's not like they went to her to not
We
ask,
saw the
because they,
elevator.
yeah.
My sister out here, she could have came through like
Yes, Beyonce said, yeah, a whole bunch of stuff go down on the elevator when it's $1 billion in there.
Mhm.
So we'll talk about that later. But let's get to some of these other comments. Malia, that was a good question. Aaron, but I do want Aaron to tap in. How do you feel about her question before we go to the next
Well,
comment?
I don't know what it's like to be a woman in the slightest bit. So if my wife tells me watch out for this person, I'm totally believing my wife because number one answer from Family Feud, that's my wife. I want to live in peace. I don't want to be debating her over this girl who she can see because she is definitely a woman like this other one, and I'm not. So
happy
I'm
wife
definitely gonna
and happy
side with my
life.
wife and be like, all right, cool. I don't see it, but I'm riding with you. So,
Right,
but I expect the reciprocation though.
Let me
right.
give you an
Well,
example. When we first
they,
got married, an ex popped on his page and said, I ain't gonna say which one because there's a lot of them. But anywho, she jumped on there like, remember when we used to watch the sports? I got on there, I said, no, he does not block. I didn't say no. No, he answered. He was like, yeah. And I'm looking at him like, who does that? Who answers the ex about what y'all used to do? And you mean I just got on there. I said, block, but he ain't asked no question. He said, you right. Me, because men think a little
Mhm.
differently.
they do. They do. Sometimes they don't think. But what I'm saying is sometimes I mean, I'm not trying to say that they are brainless, but what I'm saying is they do not think like us. So you
No,
have to kind of step in.
but we got this other alternate track where you guys don't think.
That's true.
So
That's true.
That is true.
But
We
that's
don't.
what make the perfect combination so tight. Because
yeah.
whatever they went through, they went back to back at it and they was sealed on it. Whatever
Mhm.
the
Right.
sister did, the family did, it was a sealed situation.
Mm.
Mhm. So
So let's
okay.
So
talk
the
about
husband could be showing you something that you don't see. And our pastor
exactly.
kind of talked about it. He said, when you're dating, when you go to an interview, you put on your best self, your best clothes.
Yep.
But then when it's all over, the real person come out.
Mhm.
People, if you're in love, you're like, oh, the sex is good, the relationship good, the conversation good. But he'll come in and be like, Shivonne, did you notice like he always talking about so and so, or his eyes are wandering this way? You might not want to accept it, but other people, if they're true friends, will look and be
Yes.
like, girl,
Yes, and that's why I think it is so important to have the people with your best interest around you. Because if you
Mhm.
got a girlfriend that's always, no matter what is going on, she's never talking about anything positive. Girl, he ain't right. Girl, he ain't right. This the
Mhm.
fourth guy. Girl, no, he ain't right. Girl, I'm not. I don't know if you giving me sound advice or you just hating, and you have to evaluate that too, because
that's
you
true.
you know the place that they speak from. If they're a person who always want to see the best in you, then you know you can trust that type of information from them. And I would want to know. And that's why it's so important to take people around people.
Mhm.
Because I think we talked about this on another podcast, Aaron. You look up, y'all a year into dating, nobody met this man. And then you come over, you bring him around. And the cousin was like, "Ooh, I was feeling creepy around him. Did y'all get it?"
The vibes.
And now you mad because you didn't invested a year and everybody like, "Ooh, don't bring him to the cookout. I feel violated." You should be bringing people around. You know what I'm saying? Bring
Dang.
people around. So listen, I got to get to this comment. Sometimes people that you think is your friend is really not your friend. They
That's
are
true.
givers and takers. There are givers and takers. You can be more of a friend to them than they are to you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm gonna tell you the best way to find that out is when a life situation happens.
Mm-hmm.
When something hits the fan, are they there? Are they friend or foe?
Mm-hmm.
Because people expose themselves when stuff hit the fan. When everything is looking good, they ghost. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
What did Antoinette say? You can't expect you out of other people, and I
That
had to
part.
learn that the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
That
Right.
part.
That is very true. And sometimes it's actually still hard to accept because the first thing out of your mouth when somebody hurts you is like, I would have never done you like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You
would have
can't.
never done you like
It
that.
doesn't change anything. It doesn't
But,
change the past, present, or the future because you wouldn't have did it. So
and that is so true. Oh man, it's a ton of things down here. Hold on, guys. I'm coming. The cavalry is coming. I think forsaking all others relates to people who are potential threats to the relationship. However, it may become problematic if that mate uses that scripture as a means to control.
that's true.
That is a perfect
Well, that's why we say you got to know the
observation.
man, because if you're already with a narcissistic man or something like that, that is the motive, and that's just something that they're going to use. And narcissists come in male and female versions.
They
Yeah.
really do.
So they
Right.
come as parents, they come labeled as siblings, they come labeled as friends.
Girl, you
Yeah.
got
So
that right.
Sabrina said, I learned I have the right to tell people no, because people get mad at you because you
Mm-hmm.
protecting your peace.
Mm-hmm. You have every right to accept or
You have
deny.
every right.
And that's
Yeah.
real. And no is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
I really don't owe you an explanation, but some people get one because of who they
Who
are.
they are.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's I think our topic or our goal today is if it's truly friend or what you consider friend, and it's okay to learn too that what you thought was friend was not,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right.
because some of them played a role for a good time, and then
A
they've been
very
suppressing
long
it a long
time.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I read a statement that said people didn't switch up on you. They didn't change. They just had it hidden for so long. They just could no longer hide it. That's what they
No
said.
longer high.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
that's unfortunate, but it is the truth.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you, when you observing it for some things still to keep peace, make my peace expensive. I know that's right, Shawnee.
Mhm.
I think sometimes people they can pretend for a long time, or they really got into your space just because of who you know, who you are, what you're doing. And some people actually latch their self, like you were just talking about, like the narcissists, of people who are doing good things in life because they want to be part of that crowd. But their goal is also to bring you down. And I'm not a therapist like Ayanta, but
Mhm.
I've read enough textbooks. So
Okay.
I'll add that part.
So
And
Shawnee says some things are sealed to keep peace. I wonder if she could expound on that, because if when you say sealed, do you mean like when a person ghosts a friend, or that person because or whatever, that it should stay sealed, or I didn't understand that all.
yeah, if you can, Shani, can you just tell her what you mean? So, Crystal, yes, we did read your statement when we very first opened up.
Yeah.
But listen, because time is winding and it's such a broad
Oh,
topic,
Mhm.
I wanted to say, what does it look like being disliked?
Ah.
What it look like being disliked is people pleasing.
Mhm.
You got to stop that,
Yes. Yes.
because the only person that's pleased, you are never pleased when you're people
Not at all.
pleasing.
Not
And
at all.
then you suffer. And
Mhm.
then you're drowning because you want everybody to like you, and everybody is just not
They're just
going
not.
to like you. I don't care how, like, what is that old statement? You could be the juiciest peach in a barrel,
and they
and
mad because you juicy.
somebody will still say, I just don't like peaches. Regardless, like my friend, she used to say, Keela, you never tasted a good sweet. I don't like sweet potato pie. Well, you ain't never had mine. How about I just don't like it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You make a good sweet potato pie, but I don't like it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The next one was break away from needing people's validation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us do it, and honestly,
Childhood.
a lot of us do it. And a lot, if you really, really think about the format of Facebook, social media, or whatever, a lot of us do it daily because we do it for interaction, but some people do it for likes. Some
Mm-hmm.
people do it for, if I don't get such likes in a certain amount of time. If you are struggling with whether something is wrong with you, if you are not accumulating likes and something, right, there might be some inner issues happening going on. You always need to be validated.
Mm-hmm.
Leah say, "I love peaches."
I saw her post that in there. But also, Keela, sometimes that validation need, again, go to therapy because it'll take you back and heal
Mm-hmm.
something. Because as a kid, you were always praised, or maybe
Yeah.
you wasn't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some
Mm-hmm.
people need to praise because they was always praised, and some people
That
wasn't
is
praised.
true.
So then they're looking. Now you got this social media where people can like things
Yeah.
and post or
Right.
not like.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well, that
that's
I totally
therapy.
can. I'm sorry. I can totally understand that childhood thing because sometimes being the youngest, like I am, most times in your childhood you just told what to do and you just had to do it. And so when you grow up and start disagreeing and have valid reasons why you disagree, people are like, "Well, they're strange from you because you're not this obedient kid like before. You have your own opinion. I don't know how to deal with that, so I'm just gonna label you as disliked."
Yeah, they're gonna label you difficult, but
Yeah.
I'm not difficult. I'm just finally standing up to you.
Yeah.
So a lot of times that is mislabeled. And so Nikisha says, yes, this is a big problem now because of social media attention. People give so much power to likes and haven't done the work, therapy, to learn to like themselves. And that is a very key point. And I'm not going to pretend, before I was dating and I had come out of a very bad relationship, I think Facebook worked these algorithms because all of a sudden I was seeing all these couples in love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh God, I'm not out and broke up with somebody. I'm by myself. And I literally, she
She
done
coming
dropped
back.
off ship.
She'll come back.
I have literally had to tell myself, you got to stay off of social media for a while because
Mm-hmm.
this is really uh, taking me down. But
Yes.
I think it works the algorithms,
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does.
Facebook, Twitter ain't a real place anymore. Anyway, Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle. No, it's not. And
It's not.
I actually wrote a post that said, "You really think I care if you like me? We're not even real friends."
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not. You just on my page. I don't know
Yes.
you. And
Right.
I think a lot of times people mistake because you have a connection with them through social media that they know you. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't know me.
You don't. You don't. I mean, a friend is somebody that's instrumental in your life and not instrumental on your page.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And a lot of people like that old thing are now who they post to be,
Yeah.
because people live fraudulent lives all the time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a person sitting right next to them on a couch was like, "Ooh, just left Red Lobster," and they forgot I was sitting next to them. And I literally looked over at her and I said, "You just left Red Lobster?" And she was like, "Oops." Like, why would you? That's the dumbest thing ever. Like, why lie? I don't get it. Like, why
Yeah.
lie about what
Yeah.
you're doing and where you're going? It's the weirdest thing ever.
It is.
But
It is.
health issues, getting your health in order can play a big part of you not caring about being disliked.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, Shivonne, you brought this point up, because sometimes people deal with health issues because they are so consumed with what other
Stress.
people, with stress.
Mm-hmm.
This person don't like me, or this job, or this or that. Like the little baby say, worry about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You
All
know,
right. Right.
Please secure your own mask first.
right?
And if you have it to give, you then assist somebody else. But if you're not, it's okay to say no. No, you can't come
Mm-hmm.
live with me. No, you
Right.
can't get
Yes.
$20 today.
Yeah.
No, it's okay to say no. No, I won't be attending. I ain't doing that. I just want to sit on the couch and be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, and
Peace of
that's
mind.
okay. You have to learn to be there, because I used to be a person that'd be like, "Oh, I got to make the event. I got to do this. I got to do that." And then one day I'm like, important monumental events I'll make. The rest of this, I'm not coming, because you have something every other weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's your 37th birthday every other weekend, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of coming.
Yeah.
Um, Natalie says, "Be free." Yes, be free.
You know, one thing that I know short time is short. I'll make it quick. One thing that people don't want to be free from sometimes when it's attached to like a God thing, like if your pastor's sending around offering plates 20 times per service, don't nobody want to buck up against it because it's the pastor and the pastor connected to God.
I
But
will
I
walk
say,
on
Is
out.
the pastor connected
be
to God?
free. I say be free. Use your
Is
own
the husband
brain.
attached to God that you follow, and is the pastor of God
Right,
attached to God that you follow? Some
right.
people get it mixed up. You go and get the word and apply it to your life. You cannot follow the man. He is human in
That's
flesh.
Right.
exactly
Right.
right.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna
Use
tell
your
you,
brain.
I'm
Use
not.
your brain.
You're not. Once you keep on asking for certain stuff, my spirit feels grieved.
Hmm.
This ain't right.
Right.
And we all get that tap in.
Hmm.
Some just choose to ignore it.
Ignore it.
But face the giant, and that is face whatever this problem is, own it, and be okay if the person say, "I don't want to talk to you no more."
Hmm.
And it's unfortunate that you have to lose such a good friend, which is me. But what I'm saying is, it's all good. I'm not gonna lose no sleep, and we're
Right.
gonna be good tomorrow.
Right.
So, and
And
go
whatever
ahead.
you put out, it will come back to you good. So even if it
Hmm.
Definitely
does have
will.
to end, it's okay to feel hurt and say, God, this hurt me.
Yeah.
Show me
Yeah.
how to heal from it and move
Mhm.
on. And as it go forward, make sure when you send me a friend, God, that it doesn't have this quality, that quality,
Mhm.
Right.
or help me to see sooner than later.
I
Yeah.
agree. And then lastly, well, actually, before lastly, being disliked is inevitable. If
Mhm.
you are a child, your parents told you everybody just ain't gonna like you.
Mhm.
They just
They
ain't gonna
tell the
like
truth
you.
on
So, regardless of that, and then last but not least, like Shivonne said, get some therapy. It's
Yeah.
okay to get some therapy, work
Yeah.
out your emotions and your feelings, and
Yeah.
maybe this friend, it could hurt you that whatever they decided to do, or the people on the job, because you got this bigger promotion,
Mhm.
they just don't mess with you anymore. That sometimes can be hurtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody about it. And
Yeah.
but listen,
Deal with it. Don't not deal with it because
Right.
it'll keep happening. You'll keep
Right.
looking at Facebook, mad at everybody else because
yep,
Mhm.
the book of faces is what I.
That's what I
yes,
used to call it.
yep,
That's what I used to call it.
I
I think we
agree.
liked it on big, but when they came up with the name Facebook, I was thinking that was a strange name. But they just switched, inverted the words of what they really doing, just creating a book of faces that
Mm-hmm.
they can use later on. And these are people who are connected to these people, and these are people who are
Exactly.
connected to these people.
My
That's
internet
exactly
sucks.
right.
They got all
But
this new
listen,
construction around me.
we are, like I said, we're not experts. We did have, I wish I had thought about getting Ayanta on this show, but that's okay. I feel Ayanta coming back
Let's
again.
do it
I can
again. We got
feel
more.
it. Yes, it's more things to talk about. But listen, at the end of the day, we want you
Yeah.
guys to be free. We want you to walk in your calling and in your purpose. And
Mhm.
sometimes that is going to require you losing people that you love. And I remember reading a book, and I wish I could remember this quote, and I'll post it to the page. He says, sometimes when you are elevating and going to the tops, some people are just going to be inconvenienced and they won't like that. And
Mhm.
in order for you to get to the top, it's not a greedy thing, but I have to inconvenience you now. So sorry I can't make your party because I'm over here doing this. So I'm
Mhm.
sorry that you're inconvenienced, but I'm on to something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Shivonne, you got 20 seconds to tell them something right quick.
Therapy. Please seek therapy. Even if you think you okay, go to therapy. Get your
Mhm.
mind checked out. You check your
Mhm.
heart, your tummy, your breath. Go get your mind checked out because a lot
Amen.
of people are walking around with childhood trauma.
Yeah.
And it's affecting their adulthood.
Right.
Thank you
I
guys for
agree.
having me. If you need a realtor, 214-302-7731. We handle it all. Don't even worry about it. Home insurance, we got all of that.
Okay, Aaron, what is the
I say the challenge is when you start losing friends, put them in purgatory. Put some Lowry seasoned salt in the purgatory.
I like
pick
that.
sucker up and throw it over the gates of hell.
Therapy, purgatory, what you got, Keith? Yeah, season salt. To the Lowry. To the
Thank
Lowry.
God we do not have a place to put people in hell. He knew what God knew what he was doing.
And thank God, God is not like people.
Yes, hallelujah. So listen,
Mhm.
everybody have a great week. Next week, the podcast, I'll have to update y'all because we kind of working on some stuff. I normally try to tell y'all what y'all gonna talk about, but anyway, have a great week. Think about some stuff we said. Come in the comments, add your advice, all of that great stuff, and have a wonderful. Share the podcast, and thanks for sitting in with us and
people
chat.
Off the elevator.
No, don't do that. Bye, guys.